Hello, we represent the ICCC Erasmus Research Team. In order to help children successfully settle into an international or multilingual environment, it is important to first understand the variables that can influence the process and then identify those which contribute to the most positive outcomes. The handbook touch upon the theory and philosophies of Reggio Emilia and the teachings of Jesper Juul, which reflect this research team's belief in the importance of promoting the competence of young children. We discuss resilience and explore how certain risk and protective factors may affect a child's development, and we consider the relatively new concept of prosilience and how it can potentially serve as a protective factor during the settling in process. Following the articles outlined in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child and Vygotsky's theory on guided participation, we encourage the reader to view the settling in experience through a child-centered lens. Part of building a community involves allotting time for the children to learn about each other as members of this community. Fostering these relationships can involve a variety of activities. Singing inclusive songs or playing games can help children understand the concepts of a community and, more specifically, who is included in theirs. Pictures of children playing together and separately throughout the classroom can help to build a sense of both identity and community. Reinforce positive social interactions such as greeting one another, sharing and taking turns through rituals such as circle time. There are a variety of ways to create these positive interactions. Settling in children from various cultural and linguistic backgrounds. In a multicultural and multilingual kindergarten, children and their families are in close contact with various cultures, value systems, languages, and parenting styles. This unique environment offers families and educators opportunities to learn from and celebrate similarities and differences. As educators, it is our responsibility to be aware of how these differences could affect the ways in which children experience the settling in process and their time in the kindergarten. We highlight areas of cultural differences that have been relevant in our kindergartens and offer suggestions to ensure that these differences are indeed celebrated to strengthen the social-emotional competence of every child. From our experiences, we know that forming positive relationships with all parents, regardless of their expectations, goals, and prior experiences, is essential in offering a secure and comfortable environment for the child. In a multicultural and multilingual kindergarten, relationships between educators and parents are often in intercultural partnerships that are indispensable for the exchange of cultural knowledge and information about the child. Educators have the privileged opportunity to expand their cultural awareness and help create a space for families to feel encouraged and safe to share from their respective cultures. In this section, we offer insight on how educators can be facilitators to ensure that these relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect. Additionally, we introduce various sensitive topics that educators may encourage in an intercultural partnership with parents. Educators are facilitators for parent-kindergarten partnerships. Although similarities exist between families from the same cultural background, such as holidays that are celebrated or cultural dishes that are enjoyed, each family is unique in how their culture is experienced and lived. Educators should not make assumptions, but instead position themselves in the role of facilitator in welcoming and opening exchange of cultural knowledge specific to each of the families. Inviting the parents to share aspects of their family culture or welcoming their insight on observed behaviors in the kindergarten can be a starting point for respectful intercultural partnership. Diversity and inclusion and their role in the settling in process. In our role as educators, we help shape the reality and perspective of the world around the children we work with. This can be through books that we introduce into the classroom, the questions we pose, and the information we choose to share and discuss. As educators committed to celebrating diversity and inclusion, we believe that it is also our responsibility to create space and give a voice to individuals and families that have been largely unrepresented. We hope to create that space and open up a dialogue on how diversity, not only of culture and language, but also of gender identity, special needs, and family structure, can be embraced and celebrated. We provide 3 topics as well as case studies pertaining to each, which will be used as examples to guide the discussion on diversity and inclusion and how these topics apply to the settling in process. We will discuss what it means to truly see and understand children, creating an inclusive classroom during settling in and beyond, and respecting diverse family structures within the kindergarten community. We have discussed many different theories and practical tips relevant to settling children into international settings. We will aim to summarize this information and to highlight what the authors believe to be general best practices. The education team must have time to communicate with one another before they meet families to have more time to discuss their dynamic as a team before settling in the children. If a group of educators are not on the same page as to what the settling in process should entail, or how to form relationships with children and parents, it will make functioning as a team very difficult. Educators must take time to sit together and discuss their own pedagogies, the language they prefer to use with children, their approaches to discipline, how they handle moments of frustration, and their strengths and goals. They should take time to plan their settling in schedule and discuss how to best implement it so everyone is seen as an equal and treated as such.